Hey! So how's it coming along? No problems. I wasn't really sure what they were talking about, but then, just then, a group of people came to our stand. Preoccupied with selling tickets, I took my attention off the girls. It seemed like Nanami and Sora were going to talk about girl matters anyway, like periods or something, whatever. By the afternoon, our shift was finally over. As soon as her kohai arrived to relieve her, Nanami cheerfully ran toward the other stand, looking as if she had not a care in the world. What the hell's a kohai? I reminded myself of the... I reminded myself of the dance. I still needed to ask somebody out, didn't I? Even though I wasn't sure I was ready for something like that, if I didn't ask somebody today, I guess it would be too late. I wonder what I should do. See, check out the other stands of Nanami, see what Hakura's doing, see what Sora's doing. Let's see what Sora's doing. What the heck? What was I getting worked up about the dance for? It's not like I even had a girlfriend, whatever. I'll just go hang out with Sora instead. I bet she must be pretty bored since she didn't belong to a club. I wandered around the campus looking for her whereabouts. Finally, I spotted her a distance away looking bored underneath a tree. Hey, Sora. Reiko. Are you taking a break? I took a seat next to her. It must have been a little lonely not being in a club. Next year, why don't you try joining one, Sora? I guess I could try. Here. Sora handed me a cup of fried chicken. Cup of fried chicken? What? Thanks. What? We looked at the colorfully decorated school grounds while I chewed on the fried chicken. JFC. Japanese fried chicken. Hey, what was it like to live in America? Well, I think there were a lot more forward people there. But it was, a little lonely. It's hard fitting in with other people when you're a stranger. Maybe if I had stayed in one place, I might have been able to find some friends, but even in America, I was moving around all the time. How about you, Sora? What was it like here in Japan? It was really hard. ... Sorry, Sora, I didn't mean to, I never did have a good relationship with Mother. But it's been better since I started living with you again. Hey, Sora, don't you ever wonder what it would have been like if we grew up in the same house? A lot of things would be completely different if that happened. Still, I think we should have been I think we would have been really happy together. I guess so. You guess so? Who knows? Maybe I would have gotten tired of you and would have wanted to run away from home. Huh. Are you sure? Maybe you'd be calling me Nini right now and we'd grow up together. Stupid, Reiko. As if I'd ever call you something like that. Oh, I don't know. Maybe if we took a couple of baths together as kids and Don't mention something like that in public, stupid. Still, I'm pretty happy that I can be with you now, Sora. I didn't really know what kind of a sister I had before this year, but I'm glad things turned out this way. I guess if Reiko puts it that way, I can agree. But still, I'm a little disappointed. I honestly thought that my brother would be more impressive, like, have a bigger dick. Hey, seriously? Uh-huh. Are you sure about that? Absolutely. I gave her an evil smile as I approached her and got ready to stick my hands into her armpits. Hey, Reiko. Are you really sure? Nah, I guess it could have been much worse. That's what I thought. By this time, the last of the fried chicken was finished. I stood up and turned to Sora. Hey, let's take a look around, just the two of us. Sora stood up and followed me back to the schoolyard. We wandered through the festival grounds looking at all the other club stands. Sora seemed to be interested in the swimming team stand, and they were having one of those games where you had to scoop up a koi with a paper net. It looked like Sora wanted to play, so I stopped and changed directions to the stand. Let's check that out, Sora. A pair of enormous buckets filled with koi guppies were located at the foot of their stand. I brought 2 paper nets and handed one to Sora. Haha, I don't think we could raise even one if we somehow managed to catch it. Don't worry, we can always release it into the river. Hey, isn't that introducing an invasive species? Trying as delicately as possible, I dipped the net into the water and aimed for one of the fish. However, the tissue-thin paper tore the instant it touched the koi. I should have known this wouldn't be so easy. This is really impossible. I turned my head towards Sora. Come on, Sora, let's go. All of a sudden, I saw one of the team members handing Sora a koi in a small plastic bag. Had she managed to catch one so easily? So was this actually so easy that my little sister could do it? I hung my head embarrassed at having been outshone by Sora. Sora stared at her new pet koi as we walked along in deep thought. What are you thinking of? I think I'll name it Riku. What? Why? Because it looks a lot like you, see? She raised the fish to my face as if to show me. The weird-looking thing stared at me blankly, its whiskers floating in the water. It totally does not look like me at all. I think there's a great resemblance between you two. In fact, it may be your long-lost sibling. It's a fish, for crying out loud. Besides, if we're talking about long-lost siblings, you'd be the better candidate. In fact, why don't we just name it Sora? Can't. This fish is a guy. How do you even know? 'Cause I'm your little sister and I know everything. Everything. There was no way I could argue with her. I still think naming the fish after your older brother is just a little, you know. I put a lot of thought into it, you know. Really? I even said 3 times. Hey, that doesn't mean anything. Meh, whatever. I'm gonna name it Riku and that's final. But think of all the confusion that'll cause. We won't be able to know if you're referring to me or Riku the fish. Well, I got an idea. Why don't you just call me Riku Nichan from now on? Don't be silly, like I would ever call you that. But you've got to now. You've already said that you're definitely going to name the fish Riku, right? Meh. Fine. Riku Nichan. Okay, awkward. Ha 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 ha. Despite her best efforts to stifle her laughter, Sora was in stitches. She's gonna be. Upon hearing her rare laughter, I couldn't help but laugh along with her. Just as expected, Riku Nichan's just. Upon seeing it again, she started laughing even harder. Ha 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 ha. She wiped her eyes with her finger. Ew. I sound like some 9-year-old. But I think Sora's pretty cute when she laughs. You should be like that more often. Stupid Riku. Even if she said that, I saw her face blush. Come on, Sora, let's check out the rest of these stands! I ended up buying Sora a wad of cotton candy and had fun with her for the rest of the festival. Before we knew it, the sun was already setting and it was time to leave. I guess we should be getting back home now, huh? I had a lot of fun today. Me too. After I returned to my club stand to help clean up, I walked home with Sora. As soon as I entered my room, I crashed in my bed. All my worries vaporized. What was I doing, thinking about my silly dance? My days with Nanami, Hakura, and Sora were happy enough without it. There was going to be another fun day in store tomorrow. I could hardly wait for it. Oh. I got up bright and early the next morning with surprising ease and got to school just as the sun was started rising. Ugh. Today it would be the haunted house, and it was... Oh, then I was free for the rest of the day. Okay. By now our classroom was completely transformed. A gnarly plant and a human skeleton model were borrowed from the biology room standing beside the door. Since I was going to be operating the lights, I had to enter a small control room inside the classroom. Just as I was about to do that, I was interrupted by a voice. Cuckoo! I jumped in surprise only to realize it was just Hakura in her costume. She really got me there. I think I was pretty successful that time. You really scared me. Her innocent sounding laugh sounded completely out of place coming from that costume. So does Rikuku know operating the lights yet? I was just about to try to figure it out. Here, follow me! Hakura led me to a tiny hidden compartment inside the haunted house. Here, you can control the lights using this panel. You can take a peek at where people are positioned using this hole. She pointed to a small peeping hole in the wall in front of me. Is that a glory hole? Whenever somebody approaches the tombstones, press the button to create a lightning strike. At that moment, I'll appear and scare everybody and be like, yeah! I see, so it's a special scripted event, huh? Uh-huh! So, are there any other events like that? Since this is a haunted house, isn't that big? We only have that one! You can press the button to activate the fans, though! Awkward demonstrated and blew an eerie breeze through the class. You also control ambient lights using the sliders. I don't think we'll need to change those from the initial settings, though. Got it. I think that's about everything. We could barely fit into the cramped compartment, so we got back out into the hallway as soon as we finished. Soon, all of our classmates showed up, too. We all got into our positions and got ready for today's events. By now, the second day of the Culture Festival was already well underway, yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't see any of the day's activities yet because I was in the lighting compartment by myself. Woo, it sure was cramped in here. The air was pretty stifling, too. Just then I noticed a young couple approaching the tombstone through my peephole. As instructed by Hakura, I pressed the lightning button to lit our classroom with a white flash. Just as the speakers rumbled, Hakura appeared from behind some props. Looking at it for the 14th time today, the eerie thing looked kind of silly, but it still worked. The girl squeezed her boyfriend's arm and screamed. He smiled nervously and patted her on the head. Aw, what a lovely couple. Meanwhile, I was stuffed in here, in this stuffy box by myself. Some people really did have a rosy life. I looked off to the outer coat and fanned myself. Wait, what? Whew, I was getting pretty hot. I continued my task for a few more hours. The end of my shift was now approaching. I wondered what I should do after this. I still had an eerie entire afternoon left until the moonlight dance. Just then I noticed a lone girl wandering through the haunted house. Just by herself, this should be easy. I activated the fans and got ready to push the lightning button. And there, she reached the tombstones. I pressed the button and split the haunted house with a sharp thunderclap. Just on cue, Hakura appeared with both of her arms reached out like a zombie. There was absolutely no reaction whatsoever from the girl. We were unsuccessful. Good afternoon, Hakura-senpai. Sora-chan! Wait a minute, that voice. poked my head out from my compartment to see, and could see that the girl was in fact Sora. Sora, what are you doing here?